Sunkeshi, the princess with golden hair.
There once lived a princess whose hair shone like gold. Because of this, the king and queen named her Sunkeshi, which means the golden-haired girl. Sunkeshi was a kind princess. She often visited children and the elderly people throughout her kingdom. She tried to understand their problems and needs, and she helped them in whatever way she could. A monster lived in the same kingdom. He thought the princess was beautiful. He wanted to marry her, but there were always bodyguards around the princess. He could not get close enough to talk to her. One day, the princess was on her way to visit some villagers. Her bodyguards were riding in front of her. Suddenly, one of the bodyguard's horses fell into a hole. It was a trap set by the monster. The other bodyguard rushed forward to help, but he became trapped too. The monster ran up to grab the princess, but she fought to free herself. She threw sand in the monster's eyes. The sand blinded the monster. He rubbed his eyes and shouted furiously. The princess ran to her bodyguards and rescued them from the trap. The monster was so angry he pulled a tree from the ground and attacked them. "Let's go back to the palace," shouted the princess. Sunkeshi and her bodyguards fled to the palace. Back in the palace, discussion about the princess's marriage was going on. Princes of neighboring kingdoms had sent their messengers to the palace with their marriage proposals, but the princess refused all the proposals. Later, the princess's fight with the monster was also discussed. Everyone praised the princess for her bravery. Many princes came to woo her, but none could win her heart. The monster heard that the princess was refusing all her suitors. He became more certain than ever that he wanted to marry the princess. "No one can stop me," the monster growled. A few days later, a worthy prince came to the palace. The princess liked the prince. The two fell in love. Everyone in the palace was very happy. Preparations for the wedding began. On the day of the wedding, the monster sneaked into the palace. He entered the princess's room through a window. Then, he attacked the princess's maids and kidnapped the princess. A short time later, the queen came looking for the princess. "Aren't you ready yet?" she called from outside the room. "Please come out. It's about time to sit on the wedding altar." When the queen got no response from her daughter, she banged on the door loudly. The maids regained consciousness and opened the door. The maids told the queen what had happened. "Come back, oh come back, dear Sunkeshi," the queen cried. Many others wept along with her. Where could the monster have taken the princess? Everyone wanted to know, but no one knew the answer. Finally, the king, the queen, and their soldiers set out in search of the princess. All the people in the kingdom soon learned what had happened. "How dare that monster take away our beloved Sunkeshi?" they said. They too set out in search of the princess. "My grandma used to tell me stories of monsters who live in caves," one boy told his friends. They made a plan to go and find the princess. They walked toward a cave carrying stones, sticks, and slingshots with them. The princess's husband-to-be decided to go with the children. They entered the cave fearlessly. When the princess opened her eyes, she saw the monster looking down at her. "What am I supposed to do now?" she thought. She looked all around and saw a big sack lying nearby. She threw the sack over the monster's head and dashed out of the cave. The monster pulled the sack off his head and ran after the princess. Just then, the children and the prince arrived. They seized the monster. Soon, The king and queen's soldiers and many other people arrived at the cave. The soldiers chained the monster. The monster was scared. "Please forgive me. I will never do anything like this again. I will not even come out of this cave again." The monster wept. They unchained the monster. As long as he stayed in his cave, he could. Everyone returned to the palace for the wedding. They danced and celebrated the princess and the prince, who lived together in happiness from that day on. In the evening, the palace was lit up with lamps. All the people in the kingdom lit lamps in their homes as well.